Barkley Sound, a beautiful collection of beaches, islands, and great dive sites. But divers at Rendezvous Dive Adventures found the reef full of fishing gear and wanted to clean it up. But when the divers got back on board, we discovered we got a little bit more than just fishing gear. So we planned a little reef cleanup at Rendezvous. We went to a little reef here in the bay, and Ryan here, together with his team, Pat and Kenny and Len and Mitch and Mallory, we discovered a little bit more that we bargained for. If you can explain us a little bit, Ryan, what we found here.
Well, I seen the shape and I noticed it reminded me back when I was a kid. My grandfather had a shell from the Navy, and when I picked it up, it fell off and you could see the primer, right? You could see how it was already detonated to the shell, right? So that would be coming off one of your long guns.
What kind of long guns are we talking about, Ryan?
Off a naval ship.
But is it specific caliber that you're talking about?
The caliber, I couldn't tell you. I knew the shape. It's got all the right guts and parts to it, right?
Okay, so what is the other thing? Is that the shell itself?
No, your shell would sit up here, but this would be how they packed it, right? That'd be your prime detonation pad, and once that went off, this would cause the explosion. It would shoot out through velocity, shoot the shell right out the top.
So we're sure this one has been fired?
Oh yes.
Good, so we're not risking sinking the boat with some unexpected explosions here.
Hopefully not.
So after we got back from the dive, Ryan explained that there might be serial numbers on the primer that could help us determine exactly what it was.
There. Oh. That looks pretty easy there.
Oh, sadly it's been eroded away. Let's see if it's underneath. Oh, yeah.
As Ryan started cleaning, I asked him about his family connection to the Navy.
There's a little bit of history going back to as far as Halifax.
Yes, Jacques Fleming was the one that piloted the ships through the Narrows. And back in...
How is he related to you?
He's my great-great-great-grandfather.
Okay.
Yeah, and the Greenwoods and Fleming side has always been into the militaries, the naval, as back as Canada's been a country. So it's been...
And I understand another family member did some mining cleanups in Halifax Harbour after the Second World War?
Yeah, Pop Fleming, back in the earlier days, would row out with his dinghy and undo the mines, underwater mines, row them into the middle of the harbour and set off the charges. And that was his job.
So there is quite a bit of naval history in the family there.
Yeah.
The water got blacker and the primer got cleaner. But would we find serial numbers?
Oh.
What do you got there?
Get some numbers here.
After we finished cleaning, we could clearly see CW 1942 and UD 163. It was time to call the experts. So the next day, the EOD, or Explosive Ordnance Disposal Unit, came out from Victoria. It is strongly recommended that if you find some ammunition, you do not touch it. However, that was a little late in our case. They looked at our find and carefully examined it by looking, smelling, touching, scraping it, and read the numbers. Their conclusion?
It's not ordnance.
Had it been military ordnance, what would we have been? What would have been your next move? Would you have just taken it with you, or?
Would you just made sure it was safe and then let us
Safe
dispose of it?
transport, we
Or?
would have brought it to a safe location for disposal.
Okay.
The cleanup was a success, and all the fishing gear was pulled off the reef thanks to the dive team, leaving Barkley Sound a bit cleaner than when they came.